Greetings, taxable assets.
Sure.
You are tuned into the audit. I am Senior Auditor Valerius Krauss of the Departmento Analytica.
Recording room is active, Senior Auditor. We are live.
Good. If you are hearing this, it means you represent a statistical probability that, for the moment, I have not yet decided to round down to 0.
The feed is stable.
Don't concern yourself with the feed, scribe. Focus on the work. We are not auditing grain tithes today.
No, sir.
We are conducting a forensic audit of morale, a dangerous commodity.
You're referring to audit file #88 Theta, the report from the civilian contractor, Auspex Tactics.
Contractor. A generous term. He is a merchant of hope, a purveyor of delusions.
His reports are widely circulated, sir.
I know. He has released a document titled Black Templars Top 10 Strongest Datasheets. I've had the misfortune of reading it. It's filled with words like strong, popular, and Emperor help me, mid-tier.
Well, usage rates are high for the units he lists. If people are using them, surely that indicates some value, the wisdom of the crowd, as it were.
The crowd is wise until it's being melted into nutrient slurry by a hive fleet. Usage is not value. Usage is popularity. And popularity scribed is a disease. It's an inefficiency.
Go on.
I look at the master metasynthesis report, the real numbers. I do not see a mid-tier faction. I see a crisis of the faithful.
A crisis.
A 43.64% win rate. That's not a struggle. That is a mathematical death spiral. It is an army hemorrhaging resources with every deployment.
That is substantially lower than the popular perception.
Precisely. We are here to audit that optimism out of existence. Cold, hard, forensic data. Now, open the file. Read me the first chart. What fiscal heresy is Auspex Tactics peddling first?
Item 1, sir. The Emperor's Champion.
The poster boy, go on.
The Auspex report ranks him as the #1 most common unit. It says he appears in 90% of lists.
90%, go on.
It calls him a 100-point steal and, quote, makes Sigismund proud.
It's Sigismund proud. Sentimentality, the first refuge of the insolvent. You were talking about stories, scribe. I'm talking about ledgers.
It is an iconic model, though. It embodies the chapter's spirit.
Iconic doesn't win wars. Check the Munitorum Field Manual update. The one from January 8th is the Emperor's Champion, 100 points.
Let me see. Data slate is updating. No.
Oh.
No, sir.
Really?
It appears, well, inflation has occurred. The cost is now 115 points.
115.
Surely 15 points doesn't invalidate the entire unit. It feels like a negligible increase for a dedicated warlord killer.
Negligible. In this economy, 15 points is half a squad of voidsmen. It's an enhancement. It's not the 15-point scribe, it's the return on investment.
I don't follow, sir.
This is what we in the Departmento call a points trap. You see a hero, I see a liability wrapped in black power armor.
A trap. But his function is clear. He kills characters.
In theory, on paper. But we don't fight on paper, do we? We fight in the brutal reality of the current meta. Look at the asset environment he's deployed into. We are in an economy of invulnerable save spam. Do you know what that means for the bottom line?
Things are harder to kill, I assume.
It means physics doesn't matter. It means the Emperor's own wrath hits a brick wall of pure probability. The champion swings his black sword. High strength. High AP. Should cut through armor like it's flimsy.
Yes, against most targets.
But he's not fighting most targets, is he? He's hunting leaders. Custodian wardens, chaos demons, and what do they all have?
A 4+.
Ah.
Invulnerable save.
A coin flip. That's what it is. No matter how hard you hit them, no matter if you strike with the force of a dying star, they just ignore it 50% of the time.
A 50% chance of failure.
Let's do the math the civilians refuse to do. He hits on 2s. That's good, I'll grant you. But then he wounds, say, a toughness 6 custodian. That's on a 4+ mat. Already shaky.
So half of the hits fail to wound.
And then, for the ones that do, the enemy rolls a die. A 4, a 5, or a 6. And the attack, it just bounces. The investment fails to mature.
I see.
But it's worse than that. You didn't just pay 115 points for this single unreliable missile, did you?
Well, no. He needs to get to the fight. He can't fly.
Exactly. He's too fragile to walk, so you have to lease him a transport, an impulsor. That's another 80 points.
Okay, so we're at 195.
And he can't travel alone in his little limousine, can he? He'll get shot to pieces the moment he steps out. So you hire some bodyguards, 5 assault intercessors, another 75 points.
So 115 plus 80 plus 75, that's 270 points.
270 points of the Emperor's currency invested in a single attack vector. You launch this missile at a unit of custodes. What is the statistical outcome?
And do some damage.
He kills one model.
Right.
One, if he's lucky.
One model for 270 points.
You have spent nearly 300 points to remove 50 points of enemy material. That is negative equity. That is tactical bankruptcy. You are trading a gold bar for a handful of dirt, scribe, and you're congratulating yourself because the bar looks shiny when you threw it.
The Auspex report mentions his sweet mode.
Yeah.
Bonuses against hordes. Surely he pays for himself there if he clears out a big squad of orcs or something.
Yeah. Sweet mode. We are not baking pastries. We are prosecuting a war. Fine. Let's say he fights a horde. He kills 5 termagants. Who cares?
It's still 5 fewer models shooting back.
5 termagants are worth nothing. You've used your specialized character-killing asset to clear out chaff. It's like using a lancer to shoot a grot. Wasted potential. This is the Death Star fallacy. Players remember the one time their champion rolled double 6s, bypassed the saves, and decapitated a demon prince. They chased that glorious high. They ignore the 100 other times he bounced off a storm shield and died like a dog in the mud.
So if the champion is, as you say, bad debt, where do we allocate the funds? We still need a headquarters unit.
High Marshal Helbrecht, 120 points.
Only 5 points more than the champion.
5 points. But Helbrecht is not a solo artist who might, on a good day, do something useful. He is a force multiplier.
What do you mean by that?
He gives +1 strength to the entire unit he joins. He makes their 5+ critical hits automatically wound. Meaning, he turns 20 cheap chainswords into weapons of mass destruction. He doesn't just kill things himself. He ensures the 200-point investment of the entire squad yields a massive return.
He raises the floor of the whole unit.
The Emperor's champion is a lottery ticket. Helbrecht is a diversified portfolio. Stop gambling, scribe. Start investing in infrastructure.
Yeah, I see the logic. It's cold.
Ow.
It likes the romance of the duel.
Romance doesn't balance the ledger. Next item. Heavy assets.
Right. Item 2 on the Auspex report, the Repulsor Executioner.
Oh, the tank, the big shiny toy, the newbie trap. I knew this was coming.
Auspex ranks it at number 4. The report emphasizes its massive firepower. It does acknowledge the cost, but argues it's worth the 15-point nerf because of the heavy laser destroyer and the multi-meltas.
And the usage rate.
It's an auto-include in 80% of lists, Auditor.
Of course it is.
I mean, strength 16, damage D6 plus 4. You can't deny that's necessary against knights and monsters.
I deny nothing but the logic of its deployment. Civilians look at the stat line, strength 16, AP -4, and they just drool. Their brains turn to nutrient paste. They see big numbers. They don't look at the board state.
So what's the problem?
Mark this down on the ledger, scribe. The Repulsor Executioner is the definition of efficiency rot.
Rot. But it's a floating fortress. It has armor. It has guns.
It is a 235-point loot piñata. That's what it is. Scribe, pull up the schematics for the 2026 tournament season terrain layouts.
The UKTC and WTC standards.
Those are the ones. What do you see?
It's dense.
Yeah.
Very dense. A lot of L-shaped ruins.
Yeah.
Tall walls, very small, specific firing lanes.
It's a maze, a concrete labyrinth, and you cannot hide a Repulsor Executioner in a maze. It is the size of a hab block. It's a brick with a turret.
So it's hard to conceal.
Hard. It's impossible. You deploy it, and because of its massive footprint, a piece of it is always sticking out. The turret, a sponson, the rear fender. You can never fully obscure it.
And the opponent can always see it.
The Eldari player looks at it from across the board. He smiles. He doesn't even have to move. He fires 3 bright lances. It explodes.
On turn 1?
Before you have even moved. Before you have rolled a single die to shoot its big, impressive gun. You have just gifted your opponent 235 points and the bring it down secondary objective. You paid for his victory. You wrote him a check for 5 victory points and signed it with your own blood.
But hypothetically, if it survives,
Yeah.
if you go first, if it actually gets to shoot.
If is a word for heretics, scribe. But fine, let's indulge your fantasy. Let's talk about variance decay.
Variance decay.
The main gun. Heavy 2. 2 shots. That is all you get for your 235 points. 2. You roll a 1 to hit.
Well, you can re-roll it.
With what asset? It has no built-in rerolls unless it remains stationary. And if you stand still in this economy, where angles and movement are everything, you're dead. So, no reroll. You miss 1 shot.
Okay, so you hit once.
You roll to wound. You roll a 2. You fail. Nothing happens. You have just wasted 235 points because of 2 bad dice rolls. You relied on luck, and the galaxy punishes luck with extreme prejudice. There is no insurance policy.
So is there a superior asset? Or are we just abandoning heavy armor entirely and fighting with, well, sticks?
We replace the blunt instrument with a scalpel. The Gladiator Lancer. Look at the Master Metasynthesis report. What's the cost?
The Lancer is 170 points?
170. That is 65 points cheaper.
That's an entire scout squad cheaper.
That's enough points to buy an enhancement that wins you the game. And the Lancer comes standard with Aquila optics. Are you familiar with the tech log on that?
I am. A built-in reroll system.
It's more than that. It's the Lancer guarantee. You get 1 reroll to hit, 1 reroll to wound, and 1 reroll to damage. Built in, free of charge.
So it smooths out the variance.
It removes the left side of the bell curve. It makes catastrophic failure statistically improbable. You roll a 1 to hit, you fix it. You roll a 1 to wound, you fix it. You roll a 1 for damage, you fix it. The Executioner prays to the dice gods. The Lancer dictates reality to them.
And I imagine it's smaller, too.
It fits behind a wall. That's the key. You play peekaboo. You use its movement to pop out from behind an L ruin, shoot, and then fade back into safety.
So it survives.
The Lancer survives to shoot for 5 turns. The Executioner dies on turn 1. Value over time, scribe. Value over time. Would you rather have a cannon that fires once or a rifle that fires all day?
The rifle, sir. I will note that in a report. Grox versus Scalpel.
It seems the civilians are paying for size rather than performance.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Stop the recording protocol.
Sir.
Scribe, do you hear that? That noise?
The ventilation fan, sir. It's been making that clanking sound for about 3 weeks now. I did put in a requisition form for a tech priest.
You sound like a dying servitor choking on a bolt shell. It's rhythmically mocking me. Clank! Wheeze! Clank! The exact rhythm of the Imperium's slow, agonizing decay.
I can file another form, sir. An expedited one.
The Departmento Analytica cannot spare the budget for a single mechanic, but they have the funds to forward me these useless morale-bloating reports from civilian contractors. Unacceptable.
Sir, please, your blood pressure. The Medicaid servitor is still offline from the last budget cut.
You think I care about my blood pressure? I care about the truth. And you, listening to this audit right now, yes, you, the comment section civilian.
Sir.
I know you're typing right now. I can feel your greasy fingers hovering over the keypad, ready to defend your precious Repulsor Executioner. You want to tell me about the one time it killed a knight in a single round of shooting?
Please, sir, let's just get back to the...
Go ahead, type it out. Tell me how your toy tank survives turn 1 against a competent Eldari player with 3 fire prisms. Tell me how you hide its enormous hull on a WTC board. I'll wait. I will personally report you to the Inquisition for wasting the Emperor's valuable time and resources on nostalgia. Do it. See if I care.
Yeah. Perhaps we should return to the audit. The Doctrine conflict. Item 3.
Fine. Yes. The Doctrine. The strategy. Read the Auspex claim regarding detachments. Let's see what nonsense he's peddling there.
Right. Auspex notes that the Gladius task force is the staple. He calls it the gold standard for all Space Marines.
A generic choice.
Of course. He mentions our chapter-specific one, the Bastion Task Force, only as, well, quote, interesting for a battle line focus list.
Interesting.
He then says it would be nice if the studio released a real Black Templar detachment.
A real one. He calls the only lifeline we have interesting. Stagnation is death, scribe. And the Gladius task force is stagnation incarnate.
But Gladius offers so much flexibility. Advance and charge, fall back and shoot. It can adapt to almost any situation.
It offers mediocrity. It makes you a jack of all trades and a master of none. Look at the win rates from the master synthesis. Gladius is flatlining at 45.35% for our chapter.
That is below average.
It is the definition of mid. It is average.
Yep.
And average gets you killed. Now look at the Bastion task force. What does the forensic data say its win rate is?
Let me see. Bastion Task Force. 49.1%, sir.
49.1%. Almost perfectly balanced. In a world of efficiency rot, that is a beacon of hope that is statistically viable.
A merely 4% increase.
And yet, Auspex glosses over it. Why? Because it requires a shift in philosophy, a complete doctrinal reevaluation.
What do you mean?
The civilians want quality. They want the hero. They want the single elite model that saves the day. Bastion is not about quality. It is about quantity. It is about the black tide.
The black tide, it sounds messy, unrefined.
It is industrial, scribe. It is glorious. We stop playing kill hammer. We start playing position hammer.
Position hammer.
The core mechanic is perpetual momentum. In the Bastion task force, our battle line units can advance and charge. That's standard for many factions. But, and this is the critical part, scribe, write this in bold, they can fall back and charge.
Fall back and charge. Pardon me. But isn't falling back a defensive maneuver? Admitting defeat in a combat? Retreating.
No. That's the civilian thinking. It is not retreat. It is a movement hack. It is repositioning with extreme prejudice.
A movement hack.
Imagine You have a big Crusader squad. It gets tagged by 5 termagants, chaff, garbage units the enemy put there specifically to tie you up.
Okay.
In the Gladius detachment, you are stuck. You have to waste your turn fighting them. You waste your power fists on killing bugs. You are pinned in place, a total waste of resources.
I'd see the problem.
But in Bastion, you simply fall back. You disengage, you move right through them or around them. You shoot them with your pistols as you go. And then
what?
you charge something else.
You can charge a completely different unit in the same turn?
You can charge the Lemon Rust behind the bugs. You use the enemy's screen as a slingshot. A Crusader squad in Bastion moves 6 inches plus d6 for an advance plus a 2d6 charge. That is an average threat range of 19 inches every single turn.
19 inches.
It is not a defensive detachment. It is a hypermobility engine. You simply ignore the enemy's attempts to slow you down. You are Water Scribe, water that punches through ceramite.
That does sound incredibly effective, sir. But it requires battle line units, our best elite infantry. The Sword Brethren. They aren't battle line.
And here's where Auspex means the key interaction. The exploit that makes the entire engine hum with glorious efficiency.
Yeah.
Read his entry on Sword Brethren.
Item 4, Sword Brethren. Auspex ranks them at number 6.
Sure.
He suggests using them in Impulsors or Land Raider Crusaders to extend their threat range. Again, transport dependent.
Small thinking. He is thinking inside the box, or rather inside the metal transport box. Impulsors cost points. Land Raiders cost a fortune. We do not need transports where we are going, Scribe.
We don't.
We need the hero of the chapter interaction.
I'm unfamiliar with that particular exploit, sir.
It is elegant in its brutality. You take a Marshal, a cheap HQ choice. You give him the hero of the chapter enhancement from the Bastion detachment.
Yeah.
That enhancement grants the unit he leads the battle line keyword.
Sword Brethren are explicitly an elite unit, sir. The codex is quite clear.
Not anymore. You attach the Marshal to the Sword Brethren, and suddenly your elite Damage 3 Thunderhammer killers are battle line. What does that mean in the Bastion task force?
It means they can advance and charge.
They can advance and charge, they can fall back and charge, they move across the board like jump pack units, but they hit like a freight train.
So you save the 100 or 200 points on a transport.
You save the points on the transport, you free up a heavy support slot, and you create a threat that the enemy simply cannot ignore. They simply walk across the board at max speed and delete whatever they touch. This is the efficiency we crave. And yet, Auspex is still telling people to buy tanks. It's practically sabotage.
Speaking of units on foot, item 5, the Primaris Crusader squads.
The bread and butter. The backbone of the Black Tide.
Auspex ranks them at number 7. He notes they're usually taken in squads of 10. He says they're good for their righteous zeal ability and high objective control. He suggests 10 is the sweet spot for maneuverability.
10 models. 10. That is not a squad, Scribe. That is a snack, a speed bump. Taking 10 Crusaders is like trying to stop a flood with a single sandbag.
So, more.
We need the brick, the 20-man brick.
20 models seems unwieldy, sir. Very hard to hide. Difficult to move through dense ruins, surely.
It is an anvil upon which we break the meta. Do the math. 20 models, that's 40 wounds.
A lot to chew through.
But wait, you add Chaplain Grimaldus and his Cenobite servitors to the unit. He gives them a 5+ feel no pain.
A tertiary save.
Mathematically, that 40 wounds becomes effectively 60 wounds.
Yeah.
Why does this matter? Why do we need a 60-wound block of infantry?
To survive.
To solve the Cerritus problem. Look at the matchup data. We have a 22% win rate against the Adeptus Cerritus. It was a slaughterhouse.
Why is it so low?
Because sisters use miracle dice. They don't roll, they decide. They point at your elite unit and say, this melt-a-gun hits, it wounds, deals 6 damage, and your expensive unit is just gone.
They bypass the variance entirely.
But do you know what they cannot miracle dice away?
I do not, sir.
They cannot miracle dice away 20 angry zealots. They have what, 4 melt-a-guns? Great, they use their miracle dice. They kill 4 crusaders. Who cares? I have 16 left. I am still coming for you.
It's target saturation.
Exactly. The enemy looks at your army. They see this massive brick of 60 effective wounds coming over the hill. They're anti-tank guns, wasted on infantry. They're anti-infantry guns, bouncing off 3+ armor and the feel no pain. You invalidate half their list simply by existing in large numbers.
But moving 20 models,
Oh,
the cohesion must be a nightmare.
it allows for advanced tactical grimoire maneuvers. the conga line. You string them out an inch apart. You can have the front model touching an objective in the middle of the board while the last model is still safe in your deployment zone.
That seems abusive of the rules.
It's geometry, scribe, or better yet, the wrap geometry. You charge a transport, a rhino, a chimera. You surround it with your 20 bodies. You touch the hull on all sides. When you destroy it, the passengers cannot disembark.
They can't get out.
There is no room. The rules state they must be placed within 3 inches and more than 1 inch away from enemy models. If there's no legal spot, they all die. Emergency disembarkation denied. You can delete 500 points of their army because you brought enough bodies to hug their tank to death.
And Auspex just suggests 10 men.
Because it fits neatly in a transport. He's thinking small. That brings us to the next item, sir. The shadow meta.
Now we're getting into the real audit. The difference between killing and winning. Auspex ranks the Castellan at number 3. He calls it a mini-lieutenant and praises its killing power. Lethal hits, fall back, and shoot in charge. He says it punches well above its weight class.
Killing. Everyone is obsessed with killing. Oh, look at my sword! Look at how much damage it does! Killing doesn't pay the rent, scribe. Victory points pay the rent.
So the Castellan is inefficient.
The Castellan is 70 points. He kills a few things. Fine. But look at the scout squad. Auspex ranks them number 9. 9. They should be priority 1 in this economy.
Scouts are also 70 points, sir, but they're just guys with shotguns and bolters. They don't kill much.
Exactly, the same price. But the scout squad is not there to kill. It is there to exploit the shadow meta, the scoring game. We call this unit an action monkey.
An action monkey, that sounds undignified.
War is undignified. Listen to me. If a unit costs more than 100 points, it should never, ever perform an action in the mission. It should never stop shooting to stand a corner or plant a teleport homer. That is a catastrophic waste of capital.
You need cheap labor for that.
You need scouts. They have the guerrilla tactics ability. Listen to this beautiful, efficient loop, scribe.
I'm listening.
Turn 1. The scouts use their infiltrator move to deploy on an objective. They score you primary points. Simple. At the end of your opponent's turn, you use guerrilla tactics and pick them up. Whoosh. Into strategic reserves, they leave the board. They redeploy. Turn 2, they arrive from strategic reserves. They deep strike into the enemy's deployment zone. They score you behind enemy lines. They score deploy teleport homers. And then at the end of the turn, you can pick them up again.
It's infinite value.
It's the yo-yo trick. Infinite VP for a one-time investment of 70 points. You swap a Castellan, who might kill 3 Marines and then die, for a scout squad that scores you 15 to 20 victory points over the course of the game. That is how you fix a 43% win rate. You don't fight harder, you score smarter. Auspex is focused on the sword. I am focused on the scoreboard.
I see. It truly is about economics. Efficiency of movement and scoring.
War is economics, scribe. Which brings us to the currency of the realm. Command points, CP. Read me item 7.
Auspex mentions the Combi Lieutenant at number 5. He praises the rerolls to Wound of 1, a strong buff for shooting units.
Rerolls are nice, they're a luxury. Fuel is better. We need CP.
Why the emphasis on CP?
Because we need armor of contempt. We need to be able to reduce the AP of incoming fire by 1 constantly to keep our big Crusader bricks alive. To do that, we need a robust CP economy. Auspex mentions the Lieutenant for rerolls. I say we need the Bombast Omnivox.
The enhancement from the Bastion detachment.
The economy engine. The Bombast Omnivox, you put it on a Marshal inside that 20-man brick. Here's the rule. You generate 1 CP if the unit is targeted by a stratagem.
Any stratagem from the enemy.
Yes. If the enemy uses grenades on you, thanks for the CP. If they use tank shock, thanks for the CP. And depending on the daily whims of the rules commentary, if you use Armor of Contempt on yourself, you might even get a rebate on your own purchase.
It's a self-sustaining loop.
The more they try to kill you, the more resources you get to survive. The Combi Lieutenant is a luxury item you can't afford. The Omnivox is a necessity for the Black Tide to function. You cannot run a war on empty pockets.
This audit has been extremely comprehensive, Senior Auditor. We've dismantled the champion, the executioner, the detachment preference, the squad sizes. It seems the entire civilian perspective is inverted from the hard data.
We have dismantled the illusion, scribe. We have stripped away the civilian varnish to reveal the structural rot beneath. Auspex tactics. He means well, perhaps. He wants the people to be happy. He wants them to field their cool-looking models.
There's no harm in that, is there?
Happiness does not win grand tournaments. Happiness gets you tabled on turn 3 by a Necron Hypercrypt Legion that understands the value of movement over sentiment.
Should I summarize the no-trap list for the final report?
Briefly, for the record. The 2026 Audit Approved List.
Go ahead, sir.
Detachment, Bastion Task Force. Characters, Helbrecht, Grimaldus, and a marshal with hero of the chapter.
Right.
Troops. 2 blocks of 20 Primaris Crusaders. Not 10, 20. 1 block of sword brethren, on foot, led by the marshal. Walking, advancing, charging. Heavy support. 2 gladiator lancers, no repulsors. And for the rest of the points, scouts, infiltrators, jump pack intercessors, action monkeys, and objective holders.
That's the list.
0 fat, 0 points traps. Pure grinding efficiency.
It lacks flash, sir. It looks boring on paper.
It lacks failure.
Yes, sir.
You know what the real problem is here, Scribe? The root of all this inefficiency.
Sir.
It's the Death Star fallacy. It's a tragedy of the human condition. We want to believe in the hero. We want to believe that one man with one sword can stand against the darkness and win.
It is an inspiring thought.
We watch the Pictcasts, we read the propaganda novels, Sigismund standing alone against the traitors on the vengeful spirit. It stirs the blood, it makes you want to buy the model.
It is.
Yes.
It is why I signed up for the Administratum Support Corps, to be a part of that story.
It is. But on the tabletop, in the cold calculus of the 41st millennium, that hero is just a stat line. He's just a probability curve waiting to collapse.
But people love those moments.
Exactly. Players chase that high. They ignore the hundreds of times that their hero died for nothing, cut down by anonymous gunfire, blown apart by artillery he never even saw. They value the story over the statistic.
Isn't the story why we fight at all?
The story is for the survivors, Scribe. And to survive, you need the math. The galaxy is dying. The idea of the elite missile is a myth from a golden age that no longer exists, if it ever did.
So what is left?
There is only the black tide now, the grind, the attrition, the anonymous masses holding the line, dying by the score so that one flag might remain standing on one objective. It is ugly, it is industrial, but it is the only way to win.
I understand, sir.
If you want to survive the next audit, citizens, tap the like button, subscribe to this frequency. It won't save your soul, that already belongs to the Emperor, but it might save your list from being a statistical embarrassment to the Administratum.
Shall I end the recording? Senior Auditor.
Dismissed! Pay your tithe, citizens.